30,000 people were there to see the big game. We pick it up at the start of the first quarter. With me in commentary, Wally Foreman, Noel Carter. Traditional rivals. There's Neil Lester-Smith. He's on his own in the back line. A loose man in defence at the moment for the Sharks. Ken Judge obviously a little bit worried about this strong breeze and the fact that South are going with it in this first term, because South could easily open up a very handy break in this first quarter.
It's drizzling too, Trevor.
Be nice and cool out there. Dean Irving with a big job today. His marksman is Newman. The grand final of 1992, a derby clash. Newman wins the first tap through the hands of Quill. Collard did well, showed courage. Picked up by Cracker. His kick to centre half forward. Going back is Atkins. Almost run down by Davidson. He hand-passed it away. Quill's in front. He's held without, with not in possession, and umpire Garrett is right on the spot. So Peter Quill.
Well, it wasn't a real hard free kick, Trevor.
No, it wasn't. It was fairly soft. But it's a very important one into the breeze. And if he's got his kicking boots on, this could be just a start the Sharks need in this grand final. The kick's on its way. It's close. It sneaked in the right side of the post. No, it didn't. Gee, it was close. First score, first blood to the Sharks. One behind.
So Stephen Grant at full-back for South Fremantle looks to the outer side of the ground. The target out there is Atkins. Condon backing back on him. Condon gave a good contest. Chance for South for East as Anderson gets it to Nichols. Nichols to centre half forward. Quill. No, mark not paid. This is Cracker. 35 metres out. No one in the square. East Fremantle have got the first goal of the grand final. They're 1-1. South's yet to score. East Fremantle kicking into the breeze.
Well, that's just what East Fremantle would have wanted. A good start, and I don't think any South players touched the ball with any conviction just yet. East Fremantle have had all the play in this first opening stanza. Quill's been in everything. You see him almost took the mark, fired out a quick handball to Cracker, and he was able to kick quite an easy goal in the end. And great start here for East Fremantle.
Put up the chalk on the goal line. Billy Cracker. Sharks 7 points. South yet to go into attack. Irving wins the tap. Malaxis is there for East Fremantle. Mazurek tried to go away with it. Pushed out there by Amirante. Kicked upfield by South into the forward line. Beautifully trapped here by Dunstan, is it? Pulls it around his body. Herniman it is. Into the pocket. Browning gets a fickle bounce. Punched away by Edwards from Capewell. And a boundary throw in.
Trevor, just quickly there, Herniman was lined up in the back line, but because Lester Smith's playing that loose man in defence, he's gone down to pick him up, so he's actually lining up in the forward line now.
Edwards doing the ruck work. Newman from the side through the hands of Peter Davidson. Matera working hard. Peter Davidson to Malaxis around the corner, and Nichols takes the mark and some treatment.
Well, Mazurek was the player who put the headlock on Nichols, who then kicked straight into Mazurek, close to the line. They'll try and work it out here, East Fremantle. Reid, no, it wasn't Reid. It was Moss. The umpire's whistle's gone.
Oh, he played the original free kick, Wally.
Yes, it's gone back to Nichols. And that's Herniman, who's limping away. He got kicked in the shin by the look of it. And Nichols gets good carry with that kick up towards centre wing, and East Fremantle kick. But that's interesting to see how far that kick went, because obviously the wind is not such a factor, as there's a chance now for East Fremantle through Davidson. It's knocked on by Anderson, but it's broken up by South. Mazurek has it. He's in all sorts of trouble, and he had the chance to get rid of it. That should have been holding the ball. He tried to go through a couple of tackles, got through the first one, ran into trouble the second time.
The problem there, Wally, was all the South players dispersed, waiting for the handball, and no one went in to help him. That was the problem.
Bounce down at left centre wing for East Fremantle, I'm sorry. Cliff Collard kicks it back towards half forward. Herniman is in front. Lester Smith is with him. Herniman doing well. Keeps it in play. He was unfortunate. Hepburn fell on top of his arms as he was about to get the hand pass away. And as a result, we'll have a bounce down, almost down on South's right half forward flank. Newman is there. What a success story Ian Newman's been this year. As it comes down to East Fremantle, they get the hurried kick up towards centre wing. This is Jeff Davidson, gets it to brother Peter, who couldn't hang on to it. Chance for Bilsich, hurriedly over the centre line. Mazurek will be first back to it. Nichols is off in pursuit of him. Mazurek was met pretty solidly, but an East Fremantle player was met more solidly. Jeff Davidson has it. He kicks back towards the 50-metre line. Lockyer coming towards it, gets it to Cracker. Well, that was cleverly done. Back it goes to Lockyer. Lockyer from 55 metres kicks towards the goal square. Hart is there, and he takes the relieving mark.
Very handy player to have in your team, David Hart. And look at the kick, a beautiful kick out wide. Interference to the South Fremantle player out there, gone unseen. Nichols, it was, down behind play a short time ago. Matera working close to the boundary. There's Nichols still in trouble. I think he got one in the groin area, and it really stung.
It's significant, the guy coming back to pick him up, Mazurek's also limping, so there might have been a clash there.
Good tap by Lockyer. Put Malaxis in the box seat. He keeps it in play. A kick from the boundary, across the face and through for one behind. But that was a spectacular kick from Malaxis, Sandover medalist of 1984. Craig Edwards, the other Sandover medalist in this match today. This is Hines. Favours the outer side of the ground. Target is Grant. Up he goes and pulls down a good mark. Half back for South Fremantle.
Plays on quickly to Cliff Collard. Collard kicks over the centre line. Hepburn is the target. Taken off hands by Hart. Hurriedly to the 50-metre line. Spinks leads in the race for the ball. Tried to kick it to his own advantage. Boy, gee, no one was showing any lack of courage then. East Fremantle in possession at half-back. That's Reid, who charges towards the centre of the ground, and Cracker, who's been in everything in the opening minutes, takes a good mark. Kicks towards the outer side of the ground. Quilly covers some ground. Judged at best. Chips it into half-forward, and Condon. Atkins is with him, but Condon's got the mark. He decides to play on. No one in the square, but he's well and truly offline. Probably not a bad idea, given the wind, to play on, but he didn't finish it off as he should have.
Well, East Fremantle really serving it up to South at the moment, Wally. They're not giving them any chance to break away. They haven't had a chance to use their pace, and it's been the doggedness of East Fremantle so far that's got them where they are on the scoreboard.
Well, this time it's Grant who's on the end of the kick in. A good kick it was too. A good lead. He's at right half back. He kicks towards centre wing. Hepburn has pushed out of it. Newman almost took the mark, but Reid has been penalised, and the free kick will go to Hepburn. South's wanting to play on, but umpire Garrett pulling players back.
First time we've seen Mark Hepburn today. Kick to centre half forward. In fact, it carries centre half forward. Edwards from behind. Juggled it, couldn't hang on. The snap from Matera is offline. Gee, he pounced on that.
Well, he's got a different tag today. He's got Stephen Dorsic following him today. I think he was prepared to have Anderson, but he's not there. I think he might be the player missing, Wally. I haven't seen him
Anderson
today.
was certainly out there.
Yeah, Anderson's there at centre half back.
Okay, so it's not him replacing who Lawrence has replaced, but Wally Matera was able to break away on that occasion.
Nichols has recovered, marks that kick into play from Browning. Kick along the half-back line. Davidson is there. He's pushed into that. Couldn't hang on to the mark. And Peter Davidson that was. And a boundary throw-in.
I think it must be Morford that's not out there. Or not in the 20.
I think you're right, Wal. Newman working hard, wins the tap. Knocked away from Fimino by Quill. Stolen by Hart. Kicks to centre half forward. Almost a mark there, taken by South. At the back is Edwards and Browning, two veteran campaigners. And a boundary throw-in. Craig Edwards, Sandover medalist from 1989. Played in the losing grand final a couple of years ago against Claremont. Knocked away by Hepburn. East Fremantle have a chance there, but Reid running into trouble and the ball being held to him. It's 1-3, plays one behind. 8 points the difference. 8 minutes gone in this first quarter.
There are only two players inside the 50-metre line in East Fremantle's forward area. That's Hines and Lockyer. This is Mazurek, 45 metres from goal. Capewell in front, did that well. And Lester Smith helps him out. Capewell backed his judgment. He charged at the ball, kept his legs right behind it, and he was able to get it, keep it away from Dunstan. Throw in about 25 metres around from South's goal. Newman taps it down brilliantly to Browning. Peter Davidson under pressure towards centre half back. Souths have the numbers. Collins, he's just outside 50 metres, back into the pocket. Reid will be first to it. First times at this time, but the kick's a shocker. Another chance for South. Dunstan wanted to do too much. Clementi has it. He's in strife. South still in control of the ball. Collard to Hart. Hart's going to run into trouble. He Edwards, hand passes to no one in particular. Cliff Collard, South's under all sorts of pressure. Brad Collard back towards full forward. Reid is in front. It's with Edwards. Another chance for Matera. He overran it. Mazurek has run down. East Fremantle in numbers. They soccer it straight to Fimino. Terrific pressure out there at the moment, and Fimino gets the kick. Quill applied the tackle before he had the ball, in the opinion of the umpire. And Fimino will have the shot at goal, but that was terrific defence by East Fremantle. They really did apply intense pressure. Now Ned Fimino, the Bulldogs captain, will shoot from 55 metres. He will be aided by a southeasterly breeze, a strong breeze. They're still looking for their first goal, and it won't come from that kick. At the back of the pack, Nichols has it. It's Reid, I'm sorry. Reid across the top with a hand pass. Thump towards the boundary line. This is Nichols. Up towards half-back. Fimino is with Quill. And the ball goes out on the bounce. A perfectly placed kick.
A beautiful kick from Trent Nichols under pressure in the very last line of defence. A new forward set up for South Fremantle down there today, and so far hasn't paid dividends. Irving wins the tap. Nichols the rover. Not so good that time. Should have taken it with both hands. Tried to kick out of mid-air, and he's given South the advantage here. And once again, the South skipper to drive it into attack. Ned Fimino. Good-looking drop punt. Edwards sets. Browning there, so is Newman. Matera went without it. Coming in strongly, Crummell. Hand pass was smothered. Reid at close quarters to Nichols. Off the ground again. More advantageous this time for his side. Quill leads in the race and knocks it over the line. Fimino with him.
Well, East Fremantle's defence has been great, and you can see they're bottling up. They've got an extra player down there, and it's really making it hard for those free-flowing players and smaller players of South to get in, grab the ball and get out and kick those goals that we've seen them do.
Got the same pressure of an AFL game at the moment.
Yes.
Enormous pressure out there. Collard to Fimino. Round his body. Williams interfered with. Reid spills the mark. Taken by Bilsich. Feeds Capewell. Hooks around his body. That was touched. South in the van. Fimino. Beautifully picked up on the half volley. Kick towards half forward. From the side, Reid. Spectacular.
Oh,
He's gone the other way.
He's paid them. Oh, that'll be interesting. Here we see it here on the replay.
No way.
Well, throw it up, Wally.
Well, play on then, but
yeah, play
certainly
on.
wasn't his mark.
If it wasn't the mark to Reid, it was play on. Now Dunstan's got it. Dunstan from 45 metres. South certainly
down
getting
behind play.
And Hepburn, in the meantime, swept his way into the clear.
Well, Spinks was the one on the ground, but the bloke who was playing on him was Moss. He's been wearing him very close.
Actually, East Fremantle's matchups are a lot better, aren't they? Browning on Edwards is working okay at the moment. They've got Lester Smith on Dunstan, a little bit of pace to go with him. Hepburn
to shoot. Spinks is also wearing a nice shiner, I think. Hepburn kicks. Shocking kick. It'll come back a bit, but not enough. One behind to South. So they're still to bring up the major score, Wal, and we've been playing 12 and a half minutes in this first quarter.
Hepburn's coming off by the looks. Sorry, not Hepburn. Spinks. He doesn't know where he is.
It's been a good start by East Fremantle. They're kicking into this. Well, it's more than a breeze. It's a win. This is Bilsich, and at the moment it's 1-3 to 2 points. East Fremantle lead. The kick towards the half-back line. The leaper was Quill. This is Malaxis. Malaxis kicks down towards the half-forward line. Atkins is there with Condon. Atkins was holding Condon. Play allowed to go on. Bilsich on the bottom of the pack. Now Condon on the bottom of the pack. It was Davidson, the first player, I'm sorry, not Bilsich. And we're going to have a bounce midway between left centre wing as Spinks comes off the ground and Campbell prepares to come on. Bounce down midway between left centre wing and left half forward for East Fremantle, and now a throw-in in the same position. There's Jason Spinks, who...
Big groggy, Wal.
Was on the ground. I didn't see what happened, but it was well away from where the ball was. As Newman gets it to the side of the pack, knocked away by Cracker. Hart overruns it, taken by Irving. This is Matera towards the centre square, centre wing area, and Hepburn takes a good mark. Reid is the player opposing him. Hepburn just starting to get into the game a little bit now. Souths need these big fellas to fire. It goes down towards full forward. Browning going back with the ball, chose to punch it away. A little nervous at the moment, I think, Clinton Browning. In normal circumstances, he would have held that.
Well, both sides were caught out there because that was a real good kick of Hepburn's, and it kept going, Wally, and the wind must have got under it and kept it floating, and that's why they're all caught out of position.
Newman arrives to do battle with Edwards. This is at right full forward for South Fremantle. It's cleared away by East Fremantle, by Moss. They get it up towards the centre wing position. Firmino has it. He hooks back towards the half-forward line. It was Crummell, I'm sorry. And the mark now taken by Hepburn. Hepburn kicks in towards centre half-forward. Edwards on the end of it. Should have marked that. Chance now for Clementi. Browning's after him. Clementi trying to hand pass to his own advantage, but the tackle lingered. And the free kick will go to Clementi. He's 55 metres from goal with the breeze at his back. Puts it back quickly towards full forward. Dunstan the leaper. Matera overruns it. Williams was taken high. The free kick is to Williams, 15 metres out from goal and directly in front. Williams trying to run through the pack. He went down on his knees. I don't think he ducked into it. Didn't appear to duck. He was falling, but that's all part of the deal. And so...
I wonder why he wouldn't pay the advantage there.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Had it been in defence, maybe he would have.
Yeah.
But this is young Williams, Russell Williams, with a chance to bring up South's first goal, and that really is a terrible miss. He's just 17 years of age, one of the first-year players in this team, and one of 14 country players in the South Fremantle 20 today. But he's got to do better than that. Doesn't matter how young he is or where he comes from.
Well, it doesn't matter what age you are. I guess you still know how to kick goals. But I suppose pressure on these younger players. Just felt a little bit there on Russell Williams, and he didn't take enough time to kick that goal with any purpose.
Well, Moss did well there to beat Campbell for that. He grubbers the kick, though, up to the wing. Cracker lets it bounce. Cliff Collard putting pressure on, and it runs it out of bounds. A few moments ago, we saw a gentleman doing almost a miraculous, eating a pie with no hands. 6 points the difference. East Fremantle lead into the breeze. The ball tied up. Bilsage pulled out of it. Matera looking for space. Cliff Collard hooks it up towards centre half forward. Reid, though, safe. Bradley Reid, forward of half-back. Kicks through the wing. Big Irving up in front, pulls down a safe mark.
The fight on just off the ball. That's a good one too.
Clementi, Crummell, Nichols. A big pack of players out there. In the meantime, play goes on. Lester Smith feeds Reid. He kicks it out very wide. Bilsich is there, but it beats him over the line. Fight's broken up. A few jumpers.
It's pretty willing to start
missing.
with, Trevor.
It was. A bit of feeling here, carried on from the reserves grand final. That was a vicious game. Going in hard there, Peter Davidson. Comes towards Reid. He was pulled out of it. Kicked upfield by the Sharks. Cracker in front of Cliff Collard. Hooks it upfield. Jeff Davidson. He's marked it half forward. Sharks on the move. They kick the centre half forward. Hines overruns it. First back is Atkins, though. Where can he go? He's gone straight for the half-back line. Grant is out there. With him is Condon. And together they force the boundary throw in. 6 points the difference. Sharks lead after 18 minutes of this first term.
Boundary throw in about 45 metres around from East Fremantle's goal. East Fremantle have done very well so far in this first term as Condon gets it to the front of the pack. Chance for Quill, who's been busy early without being all that effective. It's gone out of play almost in the same position.
Well, the reason why they've done so well is they've been able to tighten that, close that game right up, and haven't allowed South to be able to use their handball, pace or anything like that. They've really played in at close quarters.
That's Malaxis on at ground level. Now Atkins gets it to Mazurek, to Cliff Collard. Short kick will find Collins. Was that out? Yes, it was. It was out of play on the full before he marked it. No question. The boundary umpire was right on the spot. Nichols with the kick. Or Anderson it was, I'm sorry, who kicks back towards full forward, and Condon takes the mark at the back. The umpire's whistle's gone.
He's played the push.
And has indicated that it was a push in the back against Atkins. He plays on quickly, and Hart clears down towards centre wing. Two East Fremantle players up. Newman knocks the ball away. Anderson quickly to Malaxis. Malaxis hooks it back towards full forward. Lockyer is unattended. He can go if he wants to, but chose not to. He's 25 metres out from goal and directly in front.
Well, some loose marking there by the South Fremantle defence. Bad play by South there. David Hines was a long way away from his man Lockyer.
It nearly happened in that previous passage too, Noel. Had Condon not infringed, we would have had the same situation as we've got now. But here's Lockyer from right in front. Oh, he's pushed it right. I think he's missed it. So bad mistakes being made in front of goal by both teams. East Fremantle moved to 1-4. Souths are 3 points. We've played nearly 20 minutes in the first quarter of the grand final, and as yet neither team able to assert any authority on this game.
Big match nerves. I wonder if they're playing a part in this first half of the first quarter. There's again Anderson kicks it out on the full this time. Jason Spinks is certainly feeling the effects of a hard facial blow in that first quarter. Grant boots it to half forward through the hands of Capewell. Lester Smith toe pokes at the Newman. Good hand pass, but Capewell turns into trouble. He's dispossessed and caught holding the ball.
It's 50 metres.
It should have been Wally.
Not paid, and Hepburn with the free kick. Spinks in trouble. Spiral torpedoes the beauty. Campbell carries the ball and bounces through for a goal.
70 metres, Wally.
Hepburn has registered a beauty. Souths put their first on the board, and you reckon it was 70 metres?
Well, it was 20 metres back from the 50-metre line, and that makes 70 metres to me.
Well, it does, yes. Even in Roman numerals.
But South will be relieved to kick that goal because that breeze is quite strong. It does fluctuate a little, and it is a little gusty, but they haven't used the breeze. But this game hasn't even settled down yet. We've got both sides testing out each other with their strength. I don't think some of the matchups are a little strange to some of the players, and that no one, as I said, neither side's got a break. Both have kicked a goal, and both have missed an easy goal each. So the odds are the game's fairly even as far as mistakes go at this stage.
Well, that really was a spectacular kick from Mark Hepburn. It was every bit of 70 metres, Noel, when we had a look at that replay. Malaxis goes off the ground, down towards full forward. Out comes Lockyer, collides with Hart. Irving is down there with Lockyer. Cracker's there to support him. The hand pass wasn't good enough. Cracker fights his way back into the contest. Off the ground by Cracker. And the umpire letting play go at the moment. We're going to have a bounce at right full forward. Condon was the player on the bottom of the pack. There's Ken Judge. A little anxious at the moment, but his team has done quite well in this first term. Kicking into the wind, they lead by a point. Good knock down to Davidson. Just misses. Grant to bring it back into play. It's Malcolm Brown. He's been through it all before. Grant going straight down the centre of the ground, and he's got that into the centre square. Hepburn was up in front. It's taken by Condon back towards full forward, and Lockyer again. Irving's giving him too much latitude. They're comfortable marks. And Lockyer will have no trouble with the distance, albeit that he is kicking right into the teeth of this southeasterly wind. He is a powerful kick. He'll shoot from about 45 metres, and he's on a 45-degree angle, perhaps slightly tighter. He's just missed, as Quill did from a similar position.
I was going to say all the 45s there, Wally, because he's number 45.
Yes, correct. So now it's 1-5 East Fremantle. Souths are 1-3.
Tight ball game. Is Derby Grand Final.
1-6, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Wal. Hines in the back pocket. Foot passes up along the half-back line. And Collins takes a diving mark just inside the field of play.
Well, it can't be a diving mark. The field umpire hasn't even blown his whistle yet, has he?
I think so. He's blown it again for Brad Collard. Brad Collard's backward of the right centre wing. Kicks to half forward. Hepburn sets. Reed's with him. Put him under pressure. Off hands to Herneman. He's shirt-fronted by Aramarante. Williams dispossessed. Capewell found a way through that traffic. Kicks back to the middle. Collins is there, and he takes a spectacular mark. He's got feed on from David Hart. Hart's kick is 65 metres. Big pack up. Off hands through from behind. Gee, that was tight.
Perneman's being very brave at the moment, but he's hurt his shoulder or his chest. He was met very solidly. It was like he ran into a lamppost.
Amaranti.
You'll see him just off the side of the pack at the moment. There he is, just going through screen, and he's just holding his throat or his collarbone. I'm not sure what it is.
So they've been on the receiving end, South, in this first term, Noel?
Yes, they have, and East Fremantle have really picked off their mark, and they're out there with a purpose. I think South went out, their game hasn't come together quite as well, and as I said before the game started, I thought East Fremantle would have to close this game down, and that's what they've done so far. Now they've got to hold. If they've got a chance of winning this game, they must hold now.
This is Williams, one of the exciting young players in South. Hospital hand pass to Hines, dispossessed. Vilsic is there. Now Cracker, caught by Matera. Amirante. Collins. Back to Hart. Hart has a look. Sets it up for his forwards. Edwards got a lot of work to do. He's out of position. Reed spills a sitter. Through his hands. Clementi held. We're not in possession. Edwards again. Dunstan is there. Pushed out by the Sharks. Williams. Hand pass to Clementi. Dispossessed. Back it comes to Reed. Reed just toe pokes it. Picked up by Brad Collard. Looking for some space. Goes back to Matera. He hooks from the pocket. It's a good kick. It's a goal. A clever snap from the South Fremantle vice-captain.
Yes, a great goal there by Wally Mitchell. But, gee, I can't help but admire the defence of East Fremantle there. They were very, very solid. They're not giving the South Fremantle forwards any latitude at all. Now, this was very lucky.
Tight here, wasn't it?
It wasn't a real good kick from a clearing kick. He should have stuck the boot right under it and got it right out of that territory. But Wally Matera from 35 metres and was able to kick accurately. So very lucky South there. Maybe the defence of East Fremantle was a little poor.
South's in front for the first time at the time on period, or the start of the time on period in the first quarter. 2-4 to 1-6. They lead by 4 points. East Fremantle through Jeff Davidson, get it to half forward. Cracker knocks it to his own advantage, accidentally, down towards full forward. This is Lockyer. He's done well to claim the ball. Puts it out in front of Condon, who wasn't favoured by the bounce. Brad Collard is there. Billy Cracker is with him. This will be interesting. Two very clever players. Collard did best. Gets it to brother Cliff. Cliff shows a bit of skill. Gets around Jeff Davidson and finds Hart at centre half back. Hart's got to negotiate Peter Davidson. Kicks it out onto centre wing where Wally Matera takes the mark. Now Souths are starting to put their football together a little bit. Long kick to half forward. The target is Hepburn. It eludes him but stays in play. Reed used his body well. Capewell used his well. Reed went back towards the boundary line and he's penalised for a throw. Oh, heavens above. Seemed to me that he tried to knock the ball towards the boundary line. Let's have another look. Well, that's a clear strike of the ball.
Scroops in Disneyland.
Well, here goes Dunstan from the 50-metre line. That won't score. Edwards is at the back. It's off hands and through for the minor score. It's so dark here that you can see the flashlights quite clearly from cameras in the three-tiered stand.
You better buy the negatives, well.
1-6 East Fremantle, Souths 2-5. The kick in from Amirante is a good one. Bad effort by Davidson, Peter Davidson. Kicks up towards the half-back line. The only player there is Brad Collard. Gets around Crummell. In turn, goes short and finds Hines.
The South have picked up their rating in the last 5 minutes. Hines sets it up. He's looking for a big marking player like Hepburn or Edwards. They're not there at the moment. Knocked away. Amirante's there. A lot of work to do. Clementi caught high. Well, the tackle did start off around about shoulder, but it did creep up around his neck, as you'll see.
It was a fairly crude tackle there.
By Bradley Reed.
Could have done a lot better, Reed. Now we've seen him make 2 mistakes now, not kicking long out of that defensive pack a little while ago when Wally Matera snapped the goal. Now he's given away this free kick.
Clementi hasn't been in the game, Noel.
No, we've seen him make a couple of dashes, but he hasn't been able to pick up the ball just yet.
35 metres out. He's hooked it and missed.
Well, these kids are
expensive misses by both teams in this first quarter.
I was going to say these kids are missing a lot, but then we had Andrew Lockyer miss the other end twice. So, I mean, this game is played at a lot of pressure, but I do feel that South might be starting to get a little bit of a roll on now. Some of their runners are starting to break away, and East Fremantle really need to tighten back up and tighten that game up as they had it before. 8
scoring shots to South, 7 to East Fremantle. It's 1 straight kick the difference in favour of the Bulldogs. Lester Smith in the back pocket, kicks to half-back. Hepburn's out there, Crummell rose high, but in front Hines pulls down a good strong mark.
Well, Hines has gone onto the ball and Irving's gone back on Lockyer, Trevor.
The kick towards centre half forward, punched away from Edwards by Browning. Clementi roving the pack, hooks on goal, but he's way offline and out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the Sharks to be taken by Mark Amirante.
I'm just wondering, Noel, if we might see Ken Judge leave some players at the same end of the ground during the course of this game.
Well, they wouldn't be out of position, Wally.
Well, Lester Smith in particular might well stay up this end of the ground when they're kicking with the wind. This is Collard, and maybe Browning could too. There's going to be a throw-in at right half forward for South. South's at 2-6-18. East Fremantle are 1-6-12. 30 minutes gone in the first term of the grand final. South's kicking with the wind. Newman is there, opposed by Hepburn, who did best. Down to Dunstan. Dunstan gets it back to Mazurek. He's close to the line. That was well done. Matera has it. He was taken high. And the free kick will go to Wally Matera about 55 metres from goal.
Sharks tackling's a bit reckless, Noel.
Yes, but they're having a crack at everything, and the umpires are picking everything up. They're not letting anything go, so they're being very technical at this stage.
Matera's kick won't score as the siren sounds. And at quarter time, Souths have been made to work very hard for that lead. They're 2-6. East Fremantle are 1-6.
The Bulldogs led at quarter time by 6 points. The second quarter was a hard slogging affair. East Fremantle got the upper hand in the second term. We pick up